Ghosts are real. That much I know. That line from this week's episode, Crimson Peak, sets the tone for what might be Guillermo del Toro's most hauntingly beautiful film. A love letter to Gothic horror and a reflection of something personal he once experienced. Released in 2015, Crimson Peak was not your typical horror film. And this is a good thing, in my opinion. And Crimson Peak didn't choose jump scares or gory shocks. Instead, Crimson Peak embraces a classic and literary form of horror, Gothic romance. Think decaying mansions, tragic loves, secrets buried under floorboards, and of course, ghosts. Del Toro described Crimson Peak not as a horror movie, but as a Gothic romance with ghosts, drawing heavily from authors like Mary Shelley, Edgar Allan Poe, and the Bronte sisters. The film's visual language screams Gothic. We have a massive rotting mansion that bleeds red clay. And in the episode, we compared it or called it Fight Club Manor. A heroine in white, a mysterious brooding couple with sinister secrets, and ghosts, not as monsters, but as echoes of trauma. Del Toro grew up immersed in horror, not just the cinematic kind, but the mystic and folkloric tales of old. He's always been fascinated by the intersection of beauty and terror and life and death. For Crimson Peak, he drew inspiration from The Innocents, a 1961 ghost story adaptation of Henry James's Turn of the Screw. The Haunting, a 1963 supernatural horror film that depicts the experiences of a small group of people invited by a paranormal investigator to find and investigate a haunted house. Rebecca, the 1940 film that was Alfred Hitchcock's first American project, starring Laurence Olivier as the brooding aristocratic widow and Joan Fontaine as the young, never-married woman who becomes his second wife. And even Jane Eyre, the 1847 novel by Charlotte Bronte that follows the experiences of its heroine, including her growth to adulthood and her love for Mr. Rochester, the brooding master of Thornfield Hall. But Gothic horror isn't just about haunted houses. It's about emotional haunting, grief, betrayal, forbidden love, and the darkness of the human heart. And this is where Del Toro's own life enters the picture. While filming The Hobbit in New Zealand, before he eventually left the project, Del Toro stayed in a remote hotel. He reportedly encountered a real-life ghost. Not a jump scare moment, but a presence. He later said it wasn't malevolent, but it was very real. It made me confront my belief in the supernatural. And that encounter didn't just shake him, it informed him. And Del Toro has always treated ghosts with respect in his films. They're not just plot devices, they're symbols of unresolved emotion and trauma. And in Crimson Peak, the ghosts aren't villains. They're a warning. They're truths rising from the floorboards. And Del Toro once said, "I believe ghosts are real, whether metaphorical or spiritual." In this way, The Haunting in Crimson Peak isn't just about the supernatural, it's about memory, pain, and loss. When Crimson Peak was released, it divided audiences. Some wanted pure horror. What they got was an operatic, slow-burning, melancholy ghost story. But over time, it found its place as a cult favorite and a Gothic gem. And it's a film where every frame is a painting and every ghost is a mirror. Del Toro gave us not just a haunted house, but a story about the things we carry even in death. And if you haven't watched Crimson Peak, give it a shot. Not as a horror movie, but as a tragic, beautiful poem draped in a shadow. Because as Del Toro taught us, ghosts are real That much we know. So go ahead and smash the subscribe button like it's a haunted floorboard so you never miss a thing. We are having so much fun during spooky season, and we have one more movie to go. It is 2013's The Conjuring. So you are going to want to subscribe to the Real Relationships podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts so you don't miss a thing. We are also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok. And to that end, new episodes of this show premiere every Thursday, but we post content throughout the week. You're not going to want to miss a thing. Stay safe, stay away from tricky and sneaky barons, and we will see you soon.